Duchesne flipped it across. We're underway. Duchesne shot, score! Matt Duchesne, his 22nd of the year. The Avs have a 2-0 lead.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Yeti Cave Radio Show. It's March 4th, 2014, and it's been 3 weeks since we last graced your eardrums with this wonderful radio show. Max, what have you been up to?
Nothing. I've been doing nothing at home except for watching hockey since the NHL is back, and I am so happy that is back.
And we also need a big shout out to Max for taking care of the Yeti Cave while the rest of the group, I guess, was out of the country. And Max did a great job with all the stories, Twitter updates, and without you, we would have nothing.
You know what? It was a challenge, and I was glad to accept that challenge because I had a great time covering these guys. It was fun to watch them all week. And actually, just to continue watching them all week. I mean, I've been watching them, and they've been looking good right now. One game, though, that they didn't look good was against St. Louis. Defense was good, but man, they should have stepped it up on that game, but more on that later. Well, we've been gone for 3 weeks, so let's start catching up on what we missed. And a lot has actually happened with the Olympics coming to the close with all the medal games, including the gold medal game and the bronze medal game. What were you surprised about those medal games?
I don't know if I really had any surprises. Canada, once they started picking it up towards the end, I knew they had a chance to win gold. Once they beat USA, I thought USA was the only team that could beat them. But I guess the biggest surprise for me was USA getting blown out 5-0. I mean, Finland was a great team. By no means I'm saying they should have easily beat Finland. I mean, Finland's amazing, but blown out 5-0 in that bronze medal game, that was probably my biggest surprise.
Yeah, definitely being blown out was the surprise here, but I definitely seen them possibly losing that one. That was a tough game, and I'm still surprised. My surprise was Finland not making it into the gold medal game against Canada instead of Sweden, because I really thought Finland could have had it. I would have liked to see them make it. Teemu Selanne might be his last one, and getting the bronze, I would have liked him see the silver.
I don't know if I was surprised that Canada and Sweden were in there. I mean, I thought they were the best two teams. I mean, Finland was good, but Lundqvist played him. It's really a battle of the two best goalies, Lundqvist and Price, really, for Canada and Sweden. I think Canada has one goal in their last 3 games, which.
The whole thing is everyone's praising Canada for their goaltending for Carey Price, but we gotta look. If you watch the highlights, Carey Price was never challenged because their defense finally picked it up at the end. Carey Price was not the best goaltender of the Olympics. I honestly gotta say, Henrik Lundqvist looked great, and Jonathan Quick, he might have not done well in the end, still looked very good against Canada, only letting 1 goal in, which was a rough goal, but still. 1 goal against that entire team.
That was a heartbreaker for me. So
that was a very big heartbreaker.
Just to wrap up the Olympics, Matt Duchesne went home with the gold. Gabe Landeskog went home with a silver medal for Team Sweden. Paul Stastny, unfortunately, did not get a medal, and Semyon Varlamov in Russia, also no medal. Actually, Russia, were you surprised by them?
No.
I know we talked about this before.
No, not surprised at all. And what kind of upset me was whenever the coach was talking about the Russian team, and he blamed it all on Alexander Ovechkin and Evgeny Malkin. That upset me because those were the two of the hardest working guys on the ice. They tried to make stuff happen. He said they were playing selfish. Well, they had to play selfish with how bad the rest of the team was playing. The KHL players were nowhere on the level the NHL players were. They tried to get the KHL just to show who the KHL was, but they got to know the NHL has the prime players in their league.
Oh yeah, and their salaries reflected as well.
And their salaries definitely reflected in that game.
Alright, and next hot button topic here for the Yeti Cave Radio Show is the great Milan Hajduk has retired. What are your comments on that?
It's a sad day. I saw it coming. I mean, he had a long, successful career. 3-time All-Star, won the Cup with the Avalanche in 2001, and won a Rocket Richard Trophy in 2003. I think he had a very successful career.
Oh, absolutely.
Retiring with a cup, no one can complain about that.
he had 14 years in the NHL, all 14 with the Colorado Avalanche. What does that say about a player that spends his entire career with a team? I'm for that. I think if you could stay with one team throughout your career, it really shows that you're there for the long haul.
I completely agree with you. You're there for the long haul. It puts you in the names with like who stayed with your entire team. Not a lot. Only a couple in top. They come to the top of my head have to be
Marty Brodeur.
Marty Brodeur. I think Nicholas Lidstrom stayed with the Detroit Red Wings.
Lemieux.
Oh, we can't forget one of the greats, Lemieux. They're all great. If you stay with the team your entire career and you have a long, successful career of over 10 years, you know you've done something right to that fan base.
And like you said, an amazing whole career. And he played over 1,020 games to be exact. And in that, he amassed 805 points, 375 of which were goals, 430 assists. I mean, that is a great career.
That's an incredible career.
And I just don't know. I think
that's just about under a point per game. Under that. That's an impressive stat to keep. Definitely a good conclusion to your career right there.
And moving along, the trade deadline was also during our off break, and there were some re-signings, some trades. And on February 27th, the Avs re-signed 26-year-old Marc-Andre Clichy to a 2-year contract worth $1.4 million. What are your thoughts on that? I mean,
I like it. For $1.4 million, you're getting a steal. 26-year-old young player. He's a hard-working player, and I believe that he will definitely help out the series here. Not really the series, but the season for them.
He's like you said, he's a great hard-working player. I mean, his stats aren't the greatest, but I mean that's what you want from your. I think he's a center. It's what you want from your third, maybe fourth line center. You don't need someone that's going to score 30 goals a year, like you said. He's a hard worker. Yeah. Only 26 years old and $1.4 million.
When I look at him,
not bad.
When I look at him, I think of kind of like a Tanner Glass
yes.
for the Colorado Avalanche. Like how the Pittsburgh Penguins have Tanner Glass, we have our own Marc-Andre on our team.
And also, on the trade deadline day, this was kind of a surprising trade, I guess, to people. No one really saw this one coming. It wasn't really one that was discussed. That was thought was going to happen. But the Calgary Flames traded their goalie, Rerto. Can't even know if I never say
Rito
it right. Rito Berra. Call him Rerto Berra, even though there's no R. To the Colorado Avalanche for a second-round pick in the 2014 draft.
People say that this wasn't looked at or this wasn't coming. You got to think it actually kind of was, because J.S. Shiger is hitting that age, and I think it might be coming up to his time too. He's getting an old guy, and Rito Berra is a younger guy coming in. For a second-round pick, and you pick up a backup goaltender for Semyon Varlamov,
that's
a good choice. And J.S. Shiger is not going to be around for a while. He's a good, high-quality goaltender that definitely can keep going, but I think his time is almost up, and I think he knows that too. Patrick Waugh thought that, and Joe Sakic both thought that, so they were planning ahead for this, which for me is a genius idea right now, because you're preparing for your future, because right now, J.S. Shiger is at the prime age of 36, and I don't think he's going to be trying to push that career like Jaromir Jagr is going to push for another 5 years.
Well, no, I don't think anyone could. Him and Solani are the ageless wonders in my book.
Oh, they're always going to be the ageless wonders. Let's talk. Who was it? Bobby Hall. Wasn't he? I think he stuck around till like 55.
Bobby Hall, you think?
Was it Bobby Hall or who was it? Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe.
Mixed them up, and that's kind of disappointing since Detroit and Chicago are completely different teams there.
I'm looking at Berra's stats here. He's, like I said, his stats might not be there right now. He's young. He's only
his stats might not be there.
Oh, he's 27 years old. Okay. Well, he's 9 and 17, but you have to think that's with the Calgary Flames,
which is actually pretty good in my book. 9 and 17.
It's not bad.
Doing well.
That's a winning record in my book if you play for the Flames. I mean, let's talk about the Flames for a second. I mean, talk about teams starting to come around. Like the Avs were bad for a while, they came around. Mm-hmm. Trying to think of some other teams. Islanders, not even that. They were terrible. I mean, maybe not this year, but last year they had a great season. A team like Calgary, you think with all this young talent, they got Monahan, you think they're going to turn around eventually, but I just don't see it anywhere in their future. Them and the Sabres, two teams that
The Sabres, I see having
Sabres
a
in a
long
long,
Sabres
not in the
are
next.
for long haul. But you know who else is in the long haul that really aren't talked about? Calgary Flames might be good, but they're making the steps towards a good future for them. Bobby Monahan, and they just traded Lee Stepniak, which got some cap space off of them, so they can go out and maybe get some younger guys during the free agency, and maybe with collection, they also got some draft picks there. A second-round pick for Rito Berra. And the 2014, the 2015 draft supposedly are going to be very deep in the depth of just the pick of the players.
Well, every year, in my opinion, every year the draft the players coming out of the draft are better and better and better. I mean, these kids really are 18, 17 years old they're getting better every year. They have better training, better equipment. I mean, the players I'd say back in previous years there might be 3, 4 really good players. Now it's 10, 20. You can get anywhere from 10 to 20 great players.
Easily. Looking back at the past drafts, you have insane amounts of talents coming back, just coming in.
Ones I like to think of, the Avs, Nathan McKinnon was a great pickup, and he immediately turned it on. Didn't really need any time getting accustomed to that. I believe, what is McKinnon's point total right now? Is
51?
Yeah, 51 points in 66 games as an 18-year-old. That is, there's something about that kid. I would love to watch.
We talked about how the Colorado Avalanche had the #1 pick this year, and they're already chasing for a cup. Do you know how fast of a rebound that is? Coming off the first-round pick. I don't even think the Penguins had a winning record the year they drafted Sidney Crosby right after.
I don't. The very first year, I don't believe they did.
I don't believe they did, but the year after they did. They went to the playoffs, and I think they lost to the Ottawa Senators that year. But just coming in, you gotta look. That's insane. Right off the bat, you're coming in. I mean, you have plenty of talent already, but still, that's a really fast rebound.
I'm looking at 2 of the top scorers were drafted within the last couple years. Gabe Landeskog and Nathan McKinnon. 3 and 4 on scoring in the team, both drafted within 2 years. And if you look at, and Matt Duchene, and even Ryan O'Reilly, I'm sorry. I mean, all these players, the top 4 scorers on the team, this is what kills me. 22, 22, 20, and 18. That, the average age is, I'd say, about what? Maybe 20 years old or something like that. That's ridiculous.
That's just ridiculous that you even think, I can't even put that in the words. And honestly, they have 3 players over 30. Oh, no, they have a lot. They have a lot more, but I mean, on average, the guys that are the big names are pretty young for this team, and they're going to be around for a while. I look at this kind of like a Pittsburgh Penguins team and a Chicago Blackhawks team with young guys that are going to be around for a while, like Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin for the Penguins, Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane for the Blackhawks. But let's look at the draft. From this year, we already have the big names for the rookies. Nathan McKinnon, Alexander Barkov for the Florida Panthers, Jonathan Drouin. He might not be playing this year. He's still in the AHL for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but he's going to come up, and I believe he's going to be coming in fast and hard. He is a good, high-quality player that I believe deserves all the credit of being the 3rd overall pick. And then Seth Jones.
Seth Jones has been doing great.
Seth Jones is doing phenomenal. But
he's doing as well as anyone could ask in Nashville. I mean, it's another team, I guess, that I don't see coming around. I mean,
it's their team, honestly, is hit or miss each season. Either they have a good season or a bad season.
There was a year where they did make the playoffs, and they had a decent run. I want to say it was 2010 or 2011.
I think it was 2010, but man, when they made a decent run, they made the run.
Well, let's go back to these trades for a second. Do you believe the Avs needed anyone else, or do you think it was fine the way it was, just minimal movement?
I think it was fine with minimal movement.
I was hoping you'd say
I agree.
I agree.
They needed.
I completely agree with you. I mean, why change what's not working? Like I said, their top 4 scorers, all young guys. It's not like you're going to have to worry about a 22-year-old or an 18-year-old kind of wearing out. I mean, they've got the energy. So I believe the Avs made a great move, only making a minimal move there, just picking up a backup goalie, which you said is a great idea, and I agree.
Oh, yeah, easily. That they made the minimal movement, but still they made an impact for their future, which I believe is perfect.
All right, and also, since our last show, the Avs have played 8 games, And in those 8 games, they are 6-2. And even a more surprising statistic to me, in their last 15 games, 11-4. And they talk about making a push for the playoffs. They actually beat the Chicago Stanley Cup winning Chicago Blackhawks in 2013. They beat them Wednesday night 3-2 to move into second place in the Central Division, which I always say is one of the toughest divisions in the NHL. What are your thoughts on that leapfrogging the Chicago Blackhawks?
I love it.
I was hoping it would happen. I mean, the Blackhawks, in my opinion, they've had their time. I mean, 2 cups in the last 4 years. I'm hoping someone can knock them off, and I didn't think Colorado. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Colorado. I just didn't think they were good enough to pass Chicago in the standings. But from what I've seen in the last couple games, going 11-4, I really have no doubt now.
I have no doubt. They're a quality young team that is just blowing it up right now in the West. They have slight competition, I gotta say, in the West with the Ducks and the Blues, and the Chicago Blackhawks always there to fight. But still, I think those are the only main teams to contend with right now, because those are the ones that are chasing for the top.
And currently, the Colorado Avalanche are 43-18-5 with 91 points, just 4 behind the NHL's best team, St. Louis Blues. I mean, they're 4 points from the number 1 spot in the league. And this team didn't even make the playoffs last year. This is something you can't easily wrap your head around. I mean, 4 points behind the best, and it's no surprise the St. Louis Blues are where they are.
Before the break, I kept hearing, Anaheim's the best team, Anaheim's the best team. They were not the best team going into the Olympic break. They were not the best team the week before the Olympic break. They were not the best team before then. They might have had the record to show it. Their last 10 games, they're 3-5-2. That shows that coming back, they're a little sour. But going in, I knew St. Louis was the best team in the league. They were easily going to be the best team in the league, and I still think they are the best team in the league currently. And come on, trade deadline. We're going back to the trade deadline right now. Ryan Miller. You pick up Ryan Miller and Steve Ott, and you give them Chris Stewart. That's not.
Someone walked away with a better deal there.
Someone walked away with a much better deal here, but I gotta say, if you sign Ryan Miller to a deal in St. Louis, they're going to be unstoppable for as many years as that contract goes. Let's talk about how much cap space to see how much cap space they still have left. If they have enough.
For who? The St. Louis?
St. Louis Blues. Because currently, that's just insane.
I'm sure they have some. I mean, I don't know how big of a hit Steve Ott could really.
I don't think
Steve Ott could really take. I mean, that guy doesn't score a lot of goals, but he could be the heart of any team. I mean, that guy goes hard. I don't even know how to say hard in the paint every game. So
St. Louis Blues
looking up their salary here.
$13 million in cap space left.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all. But let's look at the other cap spaces here. The Islanders have $33 million. The Maple Leafs have $25. You have $25 million. How do you do that? That's insane.
Who does? Toronto.
Toronto has $25 million left.
Well, maybe they could do something.
Oh, never mind. They're tied. We're looking at next season. But right now, I mean, because I gotta say, they have a lot of major contracts they should not have signed.
Well, back to the Avs doing well. Nathan MacKinnon beat Wayne Gretzky's record of the longest point streak by an 18-year-old when he scored at least 1 point in 13 straight games. And there's another. I mean, like I said, I can't get over this kid. 18 years old. He beat Crosby's record, Gretzky's record, as an 18-year-old. 13 straight games. I mean, I think this kid is the fastest skater currently in the NHL. Will give anyone a run for his money. Watching him is just the most exciting thing to do. I mean, 2 steps and the guy's gone.
Once he has that breakaway, it is easy that you're not going to catch the kid. That kid is on the top of the world right now, if you think about it. I mean, for a rookie to be doing that, beating Gretzky, beating Crosby, I mean, he's going to grow up to be an amazing player because he's already an amazing player, but I don't see him just being like Sidney Crosby caliber level. Not a lot of people are going up there. I don't even consider
Well, Sidney Crosby might not have the speed, but he's because he's one of the smartest players in the game. But I mean, I see McKinnon doing great things. And what about Duchesne? Like you said, he's only now 20? He's 22, leading the team in points with 22 goals and 51 points. I'm sorry. No, it is. Oh my God, it is 62 points. Nathan McKinnon and Duchesne, both of them very young, and if they stay with the team for a couple more years, I
believe they will. They have to stay with the team. Those two, you know what? I can see Duchesne being a lifer at Colorado. I can see him being a lifer.
I can see him too.
I can see a lot.
It's early to say, but I mean, I can see it.
I can see him being a lifer for the team, though. I gotta say, Paul Stastny. I can see. I don't know. I mean, I don't really see him being a lifer there. I see him going in the off season for the free agency. Ryan O'Reilly. There's not a lot I can see being a lifer except for Matt Duchesne, who was actually signed through 2019, and then Gabriel Landeskog, who's signed until I don't know because it goes way past what shows here because he might be a lifer there, and then Nathan McKinnon. I can see those three being lifers.
And as they should be. I mean, the first year they're playing together, all three are playing together. I mean, look what they've done. Mm-hmm. And another player we really shouldn't forget to talk about here, on Wednesday night's 3-2 win over Chicago, Semyon Varlamov earned his 100th career NHL victory and his 33rd win of the season, which is second best in the league, only behind Pittsburgh's Marc-Andre Fleury. How important is Varlamov going to be moving forward and going into the playoffs? I mean, the offense is great. But how good is Varley going to have to be?
He is very important. Like, he's top of his game right now, and that is very good for him. I'm very excited to see him get his 100th win, and I'm very happy to have him on our team. After watching him for past seasons, he might have not looked his best last year, but the Avalanche didn't look their best last year.
No.
And before that, when he played for the Capitals, he was phenomenal for them. Like, he was stopping everybody that over the Capitals and then signed over with us.
Seems that the Capitals goalies come and go at a rapid pace. Holtby, Neuwirth, Varley. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just he didn't work. A lot of goalies, maybe just bad luck with the Capitals. But I seem that he found his place in Colorado here.
Maybe they'll finally find their luck with Yaroslav Halak.
Oh, that's right. Halak now.
Maybe they need a veteran goaltender instead of continuously picking up.
Or maybe they need Ovechkin to back check and actually play some defense and just not move his feet and circle around the blue line waiting for a breakaway. We'll come back to that another time.
Yeah, we'll come back to the Capitals another day.
Really, Ovechkin is a joke to me. And his offensive numbers are there, but he's a one-way player. He's offense. I mean, he's really gonna have to show me something. He doesn't back check, and I'm unimpressed. But another topic, another day. But with 16 games left in the season for Colorado, do you think there's any danger of them missing the playoffs?
No danger.
Good.
I think they're gonna make the playoffs easily. Now, winning the playoffs is another thing right now because we're facing some of the toughest teams in the league. With the West. I'm not dissing the East, but I'm saying you only have main competition right now with Boston and Pittsburgh. Those are the two main teams. But, I mean, Philadelphia's making a push to fight back. I give them credit. I don't like them. But, I mean, they're making a push. They came
a long way. They started off awful.
Yeah. And then Tampa Bay. I want to see them make the playoffs off of Steven Stamkos. And I really, really do. And I really don't want to see the Rangers make anything with St. Louis after that trade. You gave up Ryan Callahan, your captain, to pick up St. Louis. Callahan was a force for that team. It upsets me.
I can't believe they... I mean, that was well, I guess you could say St. Louis wasn't happy there. But, I mean, it was a captain-for-captain swap, and I don't know. I have nothing but respect for St. Louis, but, I mean, it just doesn't... New York, to me, doesn't seem like the team that... fits him.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't seem like the way... Tampa Bay was a fast, offensive-minded team. They always had high offensive numbers. And that just doesn't seem like a team that he'd fit in, but only time will tell. And I was gonna ask you for playoff predictions here, but I anymore I don't even make playoff predictions because you can't do it. Some teams, teams that barely squeak by, like the LA Kings, who made it to 8th place in 2012, ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So when teams make the playoffs, they just turn into a whole nother team. They take it to a whole nother level. So it's hard to really make predictions about how well a team's going to do in the playoffs. It's almost, I can't do it unless you have any. Do you have any guesses or for the Avalanche or how far they might go? Or
Avalanche, third round.
Third
I
round?
Going third round.
I think too. If they've been playing the way they have, there's no reason they can. Chicago's been slipping, but I really it's just hard for me. It's just so hard to make predictions anymore because teams just turn it on and to a whole new level, and anyone could beat anyone. Like L.A. Kings flew through the playoffs the year they won the cup as a number 8 team. New Jersey Devils were number 6. They did the same thing. So
that's what I say. I'm not kind of used to these new standings because I was looking at the standings for the West in the Central and Pacific. How there's only 2 now. I'm so used to seeing 3 and seeing the second place team of your division in the 4th position. Now Colorado's in 3rd, which I don't know what's going on here.
Well, next up for the Avalanche, they will play tonight against the Anaheim Ducks, who are the Pacific Division leaders with a record of 43-16-7. So this is actually second meeting between the two teams, and the Avs beat the Ducks. It was opening night for the Avalanche. They beat them 6-1 on October 2nd. Really gave it to the Ducks early on in the year. So what's your prediction for tonight's game against the Ducks?
I'm going to say...
the Ducks are clearly better than the 6-1 game that they played at the beginning.
They're clearly better, but they haven't been better since they got back from the Olympic break. That 3-5-1 record is 3-5-2 record's kind of showing right there. And if you've been watching them play, they haven't been doing as well as they should with that team. But the thing is, they're going to come back. This is a big game for them.
Big game for both teams.
Big game for both teams. Because they're the top of the Pacific right now at 93 points. But Colorado, I think, is going to come in and just play as hard as they can to tie the Ducks with 93 points. Because with Colorado's 91, that one win, and they're tying the Ducks. It's going to be a close match, and I'm going to say 3-2 Colorado.
I was going to say the exact same thing, actually. I say 3-2 Colorado. I say Duchesne getting another goal. If Varley plays, which I believe he should, I think he's going to be a difference maker. And I really think the thing that kills me for Colorado, you asked me one thing about them, is the speed. I just can't get over watching them they need to put more games on national TV because no one really understands how fun of a team this is to watch. They are so quick offensively. It just amazes me. So I think I say 3-2 Colorado. So any other comments before we
Before we go, I have 2 funny news stories to actually show about the NHL right now, because we were talking about Michael Neuwirth earlier. Well, apparently, Michael Neuwirth has stopped 94 of 99 shots since joining Buffalo, and he's currently 0-2.
Oh,
facing 99 shots in Buffalo. That is an accomplishment of itself to make 94 saves. Do you know how incredible that is?
Like I said,
this guy deserves a medal.
Buffalo, it's a team that really hasn't came. I think they will come around, but it's been taking a long time. They can't seem to buy a goal. If they had money to buy goals, people would deny them.
I was reading some stuff, and they said that he's going to learn to make the big save. The big save is 94 of 99 shots in 2 games. That's not supposed to be as many shots as you're supposed to have, Buffalo. Come on.
Well, Buffalo needs to score more. I think I saw somewhere on NBC SportsCenter game that their average maybe was at 1.4 goals per game, which is dismal.
They need to play the Pittsburgh Penguins style and score as many goals as you can.
Buffalo's really going to have to step it up if they have any chance of doing anything.
Yeah. And then a second news story. Apparently Alexander Ovechkin tried to win a raffle to meet Alexander Ovechkin. When asked about it, one of the items up for grabs, a chance to meet Alex Ovechkin. It is my dream. A player, Dmitry Orlov, joked as he looked over the raffle items. But the thing was, he looked at the top of the list, and right now the leading bidder was Alexander Ovechkin.
Oh, dear God.
That is probably one of the
maybe-
funniest things I've ever seen.
I think Ovi needs to turn his concerns elsewhere because Capitals not looking like they're going to make the playoffs right now. Lost 2 games in a row to Pittsburgh, and Ovi has just been terrible in my opinion. Absolutely terrible. He was shut down by Pittsburgh. Orpik made him look like a woman out there.
Yeah, I gotta say, they say the Russian machine never breaks. Well,
I think
this
it's
Russian
broken.
machine has been broken. I don't even know what to say, but I do have to say their new young gun, the Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Oh, Knitsa. I never
Knitsa.
know what his name is. Yeah, he did. I've been watching him. He's been doing okay.
He's been doing pretty well, and I gotta say, he almost has first goal against Pittsburgh in the second game, but man, he was just shut down by Marc-Andre Fleury with an unbelievable save. I wish him the best of luck. I mean, he could definitely help this team with how good it turns out, with how good he
Well, if Ovi continues the way he does, he's going to have to do well.
Yeah.
So, any other comments before we wrap up the show here?
Go Avs, go.
All right, we'll wrap it up with that. Go Avs, go for the Yeti Cave Radio Show. I'm Alex Nicholas.
And I'm Max Willis.
And don't worry, we won't disappoint you. We should be back next week, so you won't have to be anticipating another show with stress. We should be back next week.